Good afternoon, everybody. Listen to Eddie Barker on commentary, soon to be joined by Nick Finn. So we've got a great game here lined up. Dylan Lethal Leary against Scott Goobs Gillespie. Dry break to begin with from Dylan. And they've opened up quite nice here for Goobs. Probably be looking to go for yellows here. The issue that he's got to deal with here is in the top left corner. Does the yellow plant onto the other yellow? If it does, this is a great opportunity to get the first frame on the board for Scott. Managed to manufacture an angle there, just a stun up from virtually a straight pot. And these very super fine cloths, you can actually play them kind of shots. So he's looking to see how he can potentially get onto that plant, if that's the way he's going to go about it. But he wants to do it sooner rather than later. And he's let the cue ball go there. I think he's overdone that. He was potentially playing for the yellow he's closest to into the top right hand corner. But yeah, that's a ball shot, so now he'll be playing a more difficult plant. If this comes off, he should still be okay. It all depends if the red gets in the way of one of the yellows, which it hasn't. Yeah, he'll be very happy with that. So now he moves on to his other issue with his clearance, which is the 8 ball. And how he's going to get onto that. I'm joined now by Nick Finn. Welcome, Nick.
Thanks, Eddie.
Oh, where's that cue ball gone? Oh, he's lost that cue ball there. He'd be very disappointed with that.
Yeah, I'll be fuming.
Yeah, he lost the cue ball twice during that that first effort of clearing the table. So maybe he's just not used to the speed of this table. Maybe he's not played on it yet. But he definitely overhit a couple of shots there. So he's left Dylan with a nice open table. But again, the same issue that Scott did have, which is the 8 ball on the right hand side cushion, which doubles or pots, and he'll probably just play position on it. As you can see, the shot clock already coming into play. Dylan's already called his extension. Some players may elect to try and just nudge the black a bit more open here, knowing full well they'll probably be on a red afterwards. But I think Dylan's playing the percentages correct here. He's going to leave either the 8 ball down the cushion, or probably I would suggest the double. Dylan's very good at doubles. Maybe a nudge here onto the 8. Yes, he has. He's played it nicely. Yeah, that's really opened it up now. Playing a slightly harder pot here, just to allow himself a good position and to clear the table up the top end of the table before coming down. He didn't have the right angle on the red that he's now playing previously, but this is perfect. Choice of 2 reds. Playing the top red. Pot and stun, pot and stun. Drop the red in, drop the black in. Happy days. Nice comfortable finish to come to for your first frame out on the one of the main tables. Most of the weekend I think Dylan's been playing out on the back table, so it's certainly a big difference to come out here under the bright lights and people watching.
Just a quick check through the the scores from other games. Carl Morris is 4-0 up against Tom Jones, and Christy Caulfield 5-2 up against Stevie Dempsey. Those are hangover games from the last 32. And then the semi-finals, TBC timing at the moment, but we will be playing down to a final this evening. So action coming your way today is there's lots of it.
Well, look at these reds. 3-potted off that huge break from Scott Gillespie.
Yeah, and as you so often see when 3 or 4 balls of one set are potted, you end up having to go for the other set.
Yeah. The beauty of this break for Scott is if he misses, he knows that Dylan's still got a very hard clearance.
Yeah.
The difficulty with this break for Scott is the 8 balls maybe a bit of a blocker. I think the yellow that is closest to the 8 ball probably just squeezes past. If it does, that will make this a lot easier.
Yeah, I think yeah, you're right. I think it does just squeeze past. And then in playing that, I mean, it's one of those you can just drop it in dead weight, because then he leaves the other yellow to middle. Yeah, it definitely goes. I think it only goes to kind of half the pocket, the left-hand side of the pocket. But when you complete these gently, you're absolutely fine. Nothing to do with the cue ball, just stops it dead. And again, nothing to do with the cue ball on this shot, which makes this shot much easier. You can just drop this in, and he's going to leave the yellow just below it to bottom right. I think he would have liked to have gone through probably another kind of inch or two. You just saw him cue through his fingers as he played that. I think if you top through and have this straight, it's pretty much unmissable. Well, I mean, it's unmissable anyway, but in terms of it's an unmissable finish, because you could just top through and then take the one to middle. It meant he had to screw on and off the cushion, and now he's got to play a shot. Whereas if he finishes straight on that yellow, he just tops through, takes the yellow in the middle, yellow bottom right,
Yep.
and now he's got to play a shot. And he does.
Yeah, he's controlled that cue ball very nicely there.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
Yeah, really good. Really good. But it's those tiny little margins that, you know, when Scott's at the top of his game, you know, you don't see those little. You still don't expect him to miss that finish, but it's just the fact that he's left it missable. Carl Morris now 5-1 up on the young Liverpudlian Tom Jones. Talking about young men, Eddie, you and I were just sat outside watching a young 10-year-old lad playing on the TikTok table that they've got out in the foyer. Young Lucas Earnshaw. I mean, I've heard really good things about his brother Charlie, and I've watched him play a limited amount, and he's definitely got some talent. But my God, that young lad! I mean, he's tiny, isn't he? He looks about 7, but he's actually 10. He's knocking him in off the lampshades.
Yeah, what a talent. Yeah, he's already, by the looks of it, a very good player. He's playing, you know, because he's so small. His right hand, he's out by level with his elbow, because he's not tall enough to cue the ball correctly. But he certainly delivers that cue in a straight line, and he puts some great balls. And I think he pushed young Kieran Mallam, who's an England junior international, to 4-2, which is and Kieran sort of, you know, he's 16, 17 years old, maybe, something like that, and an England international. Yeah. So he's I'm sure he'll be a fantastic player when he's older.
Like I say, he was potting him off the lampshades and pulling out some seriously good pots and controlling the cue ball well as well.
So if you follow Ultimate Pool on TikTok, you can see that challenge all weekend. What's going on?
Yeah. And Lewis Hobbs and Scott Ryan are quite often over there doing some commentary as well. Definitely tune in to that on TikTok. There's some great pool being played over there. It's really good fun, and it's a lot kind of more light-hearted commentary as well. Those guys don't have to be quite as serious as we do.
Yeah, no, it's good fun. Well, Dylan's elected there to try and develop the yellow. I was a little bit surprised with that because I think it doubled.
Yeah.
And as I said previously, he's an excellent doubler of the ball. But maybe he's a little bit concerned about doubling on these tables because the cushions slide more. So it means it comes out a little bit wider than you'd imagine. Not quite what you're used to on your practice table. But it still does double, so there's nothing lost, and he's looking to see now if it squeezes in off the red. Doesn't look like it does to me. Maybe cushion first, but still would say the double would be the favourite shot here. He's actually on the double now, in the corner pocket, as a plant, which would make it a really big pocket for a plant double, but he's choosing against it for now. Okay, got the skill shot there, wasn't playing it, but it hasn't really caused him any issues, apart from the fact now he has to play precise positional shots. He needs to come slightly higher than the yellow on the left hand side cushion in order to be able to double that back into the centre pocket you're now looking at on your screens at the bottom of the screen. Well, he's decided the yellow goes in off the red. So let's see if he's judged this correctly. I'm sure it does, otherwise he wouldn't have played it. It always looks a little bit tricky to me.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Gillespie, what do? You can go for the clearance. I think a good first shot here is to play exactly what he's playing now. He's playing the skill shot. If the red didn't follow it down, he had Dylan snookered on the black. But it did, so he played it nicely. I wonder if Scott will elect to play a slightly more difficult red now into the bottom right hand corner, because he can develop the red on the side cushion in the same shot and still be on this red over the top right corner. Not playing it. So I think he's just going to just be playing position on every ball he goes for here. No heroics, no doubles. Just try and get that cue ball where he wants it. He just drops this in, leave an angle on the red along the top cushion. It's a nice angle here, just to go down the right hand side of the table. And he can make his decision as to which one he wants to go for first. Either the red on the right hand side cushion or the red near it. It depends how he's feeling. If he wants to go for the red on the right hand side cushion first, he probably needs to play this with a choice of right hand side. But no, he's decided to go for the one in the middle pocket first, which I think he's still okay on. He looked away in disgust there. He wasn't happy with that. He knows he's left this straight. Any angle would have done. So he may just have to change tack here. Just drop this red in, take the cue ball forward. You can either take it forward a few inches for the red into the opposite corner, or take it forward a little bit further, and then you have the red into the left centre. Which probably would have been my choice, because then if you'd played that a touch harder, then you've got the red into the top left corner as well. You had the choice of two pockets, and because you're close to the cushion, this is nearly a natural in off, so that's why he's having to jack up here. You play the cue ball off two cushions like that. Played it nicely, but this 8 ball isn't a gimme. Expect to get it though. As he has. Let's see what he's got on this one. Certainly didn't hold back. And the yellow's dropped in. And he's looking away.
It's that ironic look.
Yep.
What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? I break him off, I make a ball, and you give me absolutely squat. Is that red coming on top? Oh, there's just nothing there.
Well, at least you can see the funny side of it.
The problem is there's nowhere. So there's a yellow hanging over the pocket, so there's nowhere. There's nowhere you can go on the table.
It's very difficult to see from here. You need to be up close and personal there. So there is a shot he can play off the left-hand side cushion as you're looking at the top of your screen, and maybe come across and play the plant on the yellows, but he doesn't fancy it. In fact, he's saying to Dylan, "There you go, mate. You have a go."
Do you know?
Because I don't fancy this too much.
I kind of get it. He's like throwing down the gauntlet, but for me, I would have preferred to have seen him, the red that he's closest to, just push it over the other red, so he just pushes 2 balls safe. I know Dylan would have probably still gone yellows, but it just creates a bit of traffic and a bit of where he's going reds, so it kind of reinforces the point. So he could have pushed the red that's kind of in bulk across on top of the other red, and at least it causes a bit of a headache. It causes a bit of a problem. There's don't get me wrong, there's work to be done in this frame.
Yeah, well, I think Dylan was trying to play that a little bit stronger to get the cue ball over to the left a bit more, then he could play the skill shot. To get the skill shot from this angle, very difficult. Still capable of doing it, but it's a tough shot. Should take the pocket if he doesn't. He's played that lovely. That's a great shot. Yeah. And what's doubly good about that shot is he's left himself the angle now. The red in the bottom right hand corner, if he chooses to go for it now, screw into the yellow and through the other red.
Yeah. So this comes back to my point earlier. If he ties up 2 reds, then Dylan doesn't have the luxury of the shot that he's just played a minute ago.
Yes.
Don't know.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't have been a bad shout, to be fair, Nick.
I just think if you can't go for it and you're inevitably going to leave your opponent, at least tie a couple of balls up and make him work a bit harder. Maybe doing a disservice. Maybe he couldn't. Maybe he was touching it. I don't know. Maybe he just couldn't play it. But yeah, he's got the perfect angle here to play this red. He will be half ball contact on the yellow. Should be all she wrote.
Be careful not to knock a yellow over the bottom left hand pocket. Yeah. Nearly did.
That works.
But that works.
Yeah.
And that's worked out very nice.
He wasn't forced to land on this red. He had the option of the one over the middle, but the fact he's landed on it is a bonus.
Yep.
Because all the hard work is now done.
Yeah, he's not playing it now because
no, he's not. It's
a little bit of a jabby shot.
It is. It's a bit fiddly. I'm kind of I mean, it's fine because it's easy to get back on, isn't it? He had that other red to link up to it. So yeah, that was probably in hindsight absolutely the right way to go.
Yeah, he's judged the pace very nicely.
It works. And parity. 2 frames apiece.
Yeah, I think all frames have gone against the break. There's a red in the right centre. So he's potted one. But unfortunately it's not a favourable split. Didn't. He's got a red in the left centre. I think he's got a fine cut yellow in the left centre. But there's some work to do from here. Looks like he's taking yellows. Nice cut. I wasn't exactly sure where the cue ball was going to land, and
he's nowhere.
Doesn't look like he's had any fortune there really, unless maybe the yellow on the right hand side squeezes through.
If he's got the gap here, that's a real bonus. Not sure he has. Has he? No. No.
He's got to be wary here, because if Scott Gillespie can get on one of the reds on the left hand side in the middle of the table, He was on that
He
one.
was on it.
He can play it cushion first off the yellow and free his other red. That was a nice shot from Dylan. Yeah, that one just squeezed through.
Was deceived there.
So how's Dylan going to go around this? I think he might just top this through and play the yellow at the top left. Didn't fancy it. He's played it at the bottom left.
I mean, he's got a choice of 3 balls right now, but he's going to have to take the one down the rail, and then it really is just about the order. This is one of those clearances that needs pinpoint cue ball. If you run out of position here, you're in trouble. And already he's... Yeah, I mean, it's so...
Yeah, he might have left that angle deliberately because it's going to be quite tricky to get from the yellow in the top left corner to the 8 ball.
Yeah.
So...
It's going to be tricky to get from the yellow in the top corner onto anything. That's the
is
problem
why
here.
I thought he might have just played the yellow up and off it sort of thing, maybe, but he's still fine. He's still where he needs to be. He's underhit that.
Yeah, he is. He wanted to finish low because then he can get out. So if he's low, he can play the yellow thinner with left hand side and come down the left of the red, and then come back down to somewhere around about that left hand middle pocket. But he may just be a little bit too thin. May still be okay. He's going to have to screw back out now, so this is a tougher shot.
Yeah, you can see a bit more of that than we could see on our screen. So he's on the last yellow, but it's tricky.
Yeah, and it's going to be a difficult black. You can't get close to the black.
Well,
it's a problem.
He'll have to jack up.
Yeah.
Try and get towards the bottom right hand section of that cue ball. And this with loads of bottom right. Cueing down on it makes it more difficult.
Oh, that's
just
a super shot.
Great shot.
That's a super shot.
Nicely on the 8.
Yeah, he increased his tariff on that yellow to make sure that he got closer to the 8, and that really is a great shot. Very nice from Dylan Leary.
Well, straight in off for Scott.
Yeah.
He won't be happy with that.
No nudge, no cannon. Straight into the pocket. He's got a big break. He really does have a big break.
So what's he left for Dylan? Problems.
Yeah, there are a cluster of reds in the middle of the table.
Yeah,
the obvious problem.
He's trying to, he just needs that to hold up, and if it looks like it has, so yeah, he can get through to the red into the bottom left, which clear that issue. If he can just drop it in gently, then he's on the red into the bottom right. That would be problem number 1 solved. This is a bit more angle on it than we can probably see, so he's playing it. Oh no, he's missed it. Stepping tight. So Scott comes to the table. He's got his own problems here. A yellow on the right hand cushion. Will double, will drop in if you're right behind it. But the main problem is up in that top right hand corner. He'll be looking to see if he can play the yellow in off the red cushion first. So let's see how he goes about this. Clock's running down, not using his extension. So Scott's, I think he played that in such a way just to take the pocket.
Yeah.
Didn't play position at all. So that's twice now we've seen Scott sort of say to Dylan, there you go mate.
Yeah.
I'll hand the table over to you.
Yeah.
Must be a tactic he's adopting. or maybe has been adopting.
And Dylan is taking the opportunity to play the loss of turn.
Yeah, and he's played it well. Hasn't Leif's got anything easy to go at. Maybe a containing safety shot if he can, but it's going to be difficult. I think he's not too sure what he's playing here. I'll find out in a minute. So decisions. What do you do? If you can get the cue ball anywhere up the left-hand side of the table, just lower than the centre pocket. Could have a choice of 2 of his reds. That's what he's played. And he's played it nicely.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
So he's just seeing here, the key shot is getting on that red down the right hand side cushion. And how you go about that. So he plays his positional shot. He'll probably be trying to play 2 cushions for the red just above the red he's playing now. And he's played it lovely. So yeah, we're going to plan so far.
Just enough angle there, I think. He's a little bit straight, but he's probably got just enough.
As long as he's not screwing straight back into the centre pocket, he can either just leave the cue ball there. We'll probably like to get a little bit closer off the side cushion, back out into the centre of the table.
Yeah.
And he'll play this now. So if you play it plain ball, it's probably coming down towards the yellow in the centre of the table. Play it with too much right hand side, you might not be able to get through to the potting angle. So you've got to judge it here. Maybe use the yellow in the centre of the table as your guide and just say to yourself, I want to get the cue ball just to the right hand side of that. And that should be about right. Probably would have liked a little bit more distance. So he gets closer to the red. So this is a tough shot, but Dylan practices these an awful lot.
Fairly natural with the cue ball as well, isn't it? It's,
yeah.
Comes cross table.
He's very good at these shots. And he played it nicely.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he didn't let the cue ball run, just to come through that gap and leave the 8 ball to right centre. But I mean, he's still okay. He's got it. He's got it at the top corner, just slightly hamper cueing, which would just take his eye off.
Yeah, I still think he'll go centre pocket here.
Yeah, that makes more sense because then he can get to the back of the cue ball. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lovely finish there by Dylan.
Very good.
He takes a 2-frame advantage for the first time in the match.
Yeah.
Okay, so how's he going here? So the 8 ball's down, and he's potted in the top left corner as well.
Yeah.
So in international rules, the 8 ball just gets respotted, and Dylan continues. No re-rack, as in previous sets of rules. You'll be thinking, why can't I do that on a Monday night? No golden break-in operation in these Pro Series events.
No.
And Dylan will be more than happy with that break. Very likely to be going reds. Can't see a problem here for Dill.
Yeah, fairly dot-to-dot finish, this one.
Yeah, I don't think you see any heroics on this. He'll just drop this red in. Leave the red down the right hand side, but pretty straight. Just what he's going to do with them reds on the left hand side, whether he's going to try and just get behind them for a plant. If he can get the cue ball somewhere near the 8 ball, that would be perfect. Or he could either try and get the cue ball in behind him for the reds into the right hand centre or the right hand top corner. All depends how he feels. If he can keep the cue ball nice and tight. And he's left an angle here just to pot and just hold the cue ball. Get it just out in the left-hand side, somewhere near the left-hand side cushion, to the left of those two reds. Whatever happens, don't overdo this shot. Looks like he's played that nicely. Yeah, couldn't have put it better by hand. So this is looking good for Dylan. Got a very good chance here to get a 3-frame advantage and only 2 frames from the finish line. Plenty of time left on the clock though, 21 minutes.
He really is a gritty player, isn't he? He's very talented. Been around the circuit for many years. Do you know if is he a big practicer?
Well, he's got his own table at his house,
Yeah.
and he's got his own club, so he's got the facilities. He does practice a fair bit. Yeah, he definitely times it right leading up to the tournaments. You know, there's no point being in top form when there's nothing to play for. But yeah, he definitely works hard at his game, and he's getting the rewards.
Big fields, big fields over there. I remember I didn't do too well in the tournament on one of the occasions, but I played in the money matches that are over there, and I think I don't know, I sat down for about an hour, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I've never seen so much action on a table. I hit a streak of cards. I mean, I sat down with like €250 and got up an hour later with about 1,600. I mean, it was a ridiculous hour. Right? I mean, admittedly, I hit a few cards, but the Irish, the action that they give is insane. Every pot, you know, is just raise, re-raise, and there's like 5 people in the hand. And, yeah, I mean, if you're hitting, it's amazing, but you can
Not for the faint-hearted.
Oh, isn't it ever?
Okay, so this match is in Scott Gillespie's head. He'll be pretty much in turmoil what's been happening in the last few frames, because the breaks haven't gone his way. Dylan's dominating the table. After a couple of really good breaks to start with, it's just gone dry for Scott. Dylan's taken his opportunities very well, but this is tough. This is there's no real good chance of a clearance here. So that's why Dylan's decided just to turn the table over. I think the time was a factor there as well. He was running out of time.
Yeah.
But he said to Scott, right, okay.
It's an odd one, because there's a few times Scott's done this a couple of times as well, where he hasn't really had a shot and just played a bit of a nothing and said, there you go, you do it. I don't like it.
Well, Scott might do the same here. He might just play a loss of turn plant.
Yeah.
Red onto the yellow. Lead the cue ball up the top there. He's got to be careful, because as far as I can see, Dylan's only really got one problem, which is down that right hand side, and he's got an angle on a yellow just to in the bottom left hand corner, not the one nearest, but the other one. He's left it. He's left the angle. If Dylan can cut this yellow back, cue ball off the bottom cushion, and if he can just avoid the red that's out in the open into his yellow, and he might even hit that red that's out in the open, and that might disturb them. Is that what he's going to play? Yeah,
I think he's seen that. He's looking at that. I'm pretty sure.
I think that's the aggressive option, and I would go for it, because Scott's still got his difficult red that's in that left hand corner as well.
I guess the one thing from Dylan's perspective, he doesn't need to push the boat out here, does he?
No.
He doesn't need to do anything rash. He's got a 3-frame lead. He's 5-2 ahead. It's a long road back for Scott. You really just want to say to Scott, look, you do it.
Yeah, Dylan won't be happy with that last one,
No.
because he's opened up the red into the bottom left now.
Yeah.
So Scott's only one developing shot away from clearing these up, and we all know where that developing shot's coming from.
Yeah.
The red on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Over the centre pocket.
And he's left the angle now.
Left the angle for it. He's literally just going to play this.
Doesn't have to do anything either, because he's got the
red
he's
in
got
the
the
right
recovery
centre.
ball. To the top of the table now.
So he won't be playing this too hard.
No, just literally just needs to nudge it out.
Yep.
Pretty much just there you go. Easy. Easily done.
Okay, so the issue for Scott is getting on the reds in the top in the top of the table now.
Yeah.
If he lands quite an angle on one of them,
Yeah.
then it's going to be tricky to stay on the last red.
Yeah, I think what it needs to do is yeah, that's what I was thinking. Leave this angle on the ball to bottom left, and then come high on the one to bottom right to come back up the left hand side of the table, and then you can take those two at the top as your last two balls to get onto the 8.
Scott's just come a bit short on this one. He would have been looking to leave a half ball angle of one of these last two reds to go up for the two reds up the top. But now he's left it sort of virtually full ball.
I thought, couldn't he screw back another? I want to get back another 6 inches and leave it high, surely. Then you've got a fairly natural angle to come off the bottom cushion and back up.
I think he can screw back, use the yellow by his hand as a guide just to the side of that, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
Played that very nicely.
Yeah, very good. Much easier to see those angles when you're at the table. Obviously, it's much more difficult watching on the TV screen, but played that really well. And this was a must-win frame, and Dylan, they never really had much of a chance in the frame, so you definitely can't blame him. But as you mentioned earlier, he moved the tricky ball, one of Scott's tricky balls, which made it a much easier clearance there for Scott. Didn't make it hard enough for him.
That's what Netflix is for, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Dry break for Dylan, just when he needed it least.
Yeah.
And those yellows.
Scott leaps out of his chair.
Near enough unmissable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
he'll be ecstatic because Dylan's really been in control for most of this match, and now if Scott can find the clearance here, then he's just one frame behind.
It's amazing how
and he's back on serve as well, isn't he? It will be his break in the next.
It will be Scott's break in the next, yeah.
Wow.
So, but it's amazing how things can change just off one break-off shot. Yesterday I was in a match with Christophe Lambert. It was 1-1, and in the next 3 frames I had a dry break, and then I'm 4-1 down in about 7 or 8 minutes. He's doing the swings and roundabouts in these matches. It's quite unbelievable sometimes. So I don't think the match clock's going to come into play. Possibly if it goes to 6-all, but I think we're going to be finished before the clock's up.
I can tell you that Chris Day's on the hill against Phil Harrison. He's 6-5 up.
Chris Day, I've noticed that he's gone back to his old nickname. He was Judgment Day last year, and I think he's back to CD this year. Yeah, I think he's playing some good ball. Scott would have liked to have cleared the bottom of the table first before going up for these 3.
One stray ball now, isn't there? There's now suddenly he has to come backwards and forwards. There's no link ball to that.
Yeah, I think it's still reasonably easy enough. So yellow top left, yellow left centre, yellow bottom right, yellow top right.
Yeah.
It's just where he goes on the 8 ball, but he's not. No, he's going yellow top right first.
Yeah.
I would have thought.
Which suggests, well, yeah, I mean, he'll screw, surely you play this to top right and then screw back for the one at the bottom of the table and then use the one near the middle to get onto the 8. Surely you don't want to be trying to get on the 8 ball from the one at the bottom of the table. Well, he is.
That's what he's doing.
I'm surprised because he's got the angle there to screw back, play the one to bottom right, and then he's not got a difficult positional shot to get on the one to middle to then get onto the 8. This way, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm picking hairs because it should still absolutely be fine.
I think he was just concerned about the positional shot from The yellow is on now to the yellow into the left centre. If he didn't land nicely on that yellow in the left centre, the 8 ball only really goes in two pockets, really, realistically.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, as I say, I think it's fine.
Stunning this with the right hand side of 2 cushions.
I love coming around 2 cushions there, because you're coming into the line of the ball. A much bigger margin of error.
Yeah, exactly.
I really like that. I think big advocate for that shot. A lot of club players can learn a lot from that. Yeah. I'll be honest, I didn't see this coming. I mean, we know Scott's definitely got the class to do it, but Dylan's been in control of the game so far. But wouldn't you know it? I mean, if you had to ask me to make a bet there, Eddie, I would have happily had an even money bet there with you that he was going to go dry.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's going for him at the moment. It just felt that it was going to be one of those moments where he just needs a good break to get level, and he goes dry.
Yep, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Don't matter how good a breaker you are. I mean, you don't get a better break than that, and he's gone dry. So anybody that tells you they mastered the break is a liar.
Yeah. He's left it wide open.
He's left Dylan a really good chance, and Dylan has to take this opportunity.
Crucial. I mean, you could see the look on Scott's face, what he thought about it. I mean, it's absolutely crucial moment to be able to make a ball there and put the pressure on Dylan.
Dylan's already played his extension, so he's got to play this within the next 6 seconds.
Listen for the beep, the bong, the ding. We couldn't hear it from here. But the 10-second clock has just gone by. Sorry, the 15-second clock, the 10 minutes, should I say, the 10-minute countdown.
Yeah.
So we now revert.
Dylan.
Wow.
Dylan.
Did he quit on that? Or?
No. Do you know what it is? It's the 15-second shot clock.
Is it that?
That's what
that
made him
ding
make
in the
that
background.
Mistake. Well, yeah. See, look, he's already. The clock's already on him, and it gets you straight at the beginning. At the beginning of the 15-second shot clock, it gets you if you're not fully prepared for it.
Do you know what, Eddie? He'll take that. The fact that he tied up those balls at the top of the table.
Yeah, he'd be very disappointed he didn't clear them.
Yeah.
But he'd be very happy he's tied that yellow up.
Yeah.
Because
there's only 9 minutes left on the clock. He's got that 1 frame advantage, so it's up to Scott to force the pace now. And now he's, if he hadn't tied that yellow up, this was pretty much a formality. And now Scott has to play a shot.
Yeah, Scott, he's just going to play a little tuck up here if he can. Develop this yellow. He's played it nice. That yellow now goes.
Yeah.
And then his next shot, if he gets ball in hand, or even if he doesn't, he'll be trying to get cue ball in such an angle to play out that yellow on the top left to go into the other yellow in the red. Good escape there by Dill.
I think one thing we can safely say is, if Scott wins this, I don't think either player's getting to 7. So that brings in the possibility of the 6-red shootout as well. So, yeah, I don't see. As I say, this frame's going to strip out a minute or so out of or a good couple of minutes, should I say?
Yeah, I don't see this finishing much before 6 minutes.
No. Oh, that's in off. Is it?
No,
No, it's not.
That would have been very fortunate to go in off at that angle. That's about as close as it could have got, I think.
Yeah.
Can Scott just tuck up to this yellow that he's closest to? Or is the jaw in the way? So you haven't got any time to think about it. He's got to play a shot. And he's played a nice containing shot there.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
So this is the thing, where it gets so interesting on a 15-second shot clock when there's cagey play to be done and tactics, because as a pool player you need more time to think about these shots. If it's just the pots sitting there, you can get down and pot it, it's not a problem. But when you need to sort of think, you actually need to be thinking about what you're doing for your next shot whilst you're in your seat.
Yeah, that was a clever shot from Dylan.
Yeah,
so Scott's issue here is that he's running out of balls to be able to use to dislodge that yellow at the top of the table, and Dylan putting those two reds on the bulk line, kind of straddling the bulk line there, it takes away the yellow that's nearest the right hand pocket, so he can't use that ball to break it out. Scott's still got that ball on the left hand side bulk line, which would be the obvious ball to break out, but he's just slowly run out of options. What he'd dearly like to do, if Dylan can't leave him at this end of the table, because what that's going to allow is Scott to use one of the balls in the middle to cannon that yellow out and play a snooker at the same time. So Dylan needs to be careful, needs to bear that in his mind. So he's keeping him at the right end of the table. He could pull the trigger here. You could see him pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think my ball to split the yellow and the red out would be the yellow on the right hand side of the table into the centre pocket. But Scott's got other ideas. He's trying to put the yellow in a perfect spot to split him out. He might have just rolled about half an inch too far there. We'll find out in a minute, maybe. But it was good tactics there.
I felt he could have pulled the trigger though. I thought he could have taken the yellow he just hit long and left an angle on the yellow that's on the bulk line on the left hand side, just below the bulk line, as his ball to try and break things open. I mean, Dylan will be happy to do this for the next 5 minutes and run the clock down. He will not care. It's up to Scott. He has to force the pace.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be another 5 minutes, but I must admit it's been nearly 3 minutes since we last spoke about this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
absolutely.
If Scott was to win this frame, he's got to try and leave at least sort of like a minute and a half, 2 minutes on the clock.
I think the other thing is it's
Dylan.
Dylan's break next as well. So Dylan's in the driving seat here. If Scott does win this frame, Dylan's going to have the right to reply. So Scott maybe getting to the stage now where actually he'll be happy for a six red shootout.
Yeah, well, he's developed them slightly.
Yeah. That was a clever little shot.
It was, and it's actually
the red's going to go back in there though. The red's going to go straight back in there.
Careful of the in-off here. Nice. Good containing.
4.5 minutes left, Eddie. Ticking on down.
Yeah, you're right, Nick.
Well, what point does it get to panic stations for Scott? He needs to clear this table. Pushes another ball up into the area, but again, that's not a great ball to use to break things out. It's
Yeah, if I'm Dylan here, I'm just tucking this red even tighter onto the yellow.
Absolutely. Well, that's about 3 times he's flirted with the corners, but he's judging them well.
Yeah, if I'm Scott now, I think I'm sort of I'm playing the yellow on the cushion, on the bulk cushion into the reds, not the other yellow out. Not too hard. Just try not to leave Dylan an opportunity, but just developments. You've got to open up that top little section.
Scott will be starting to get concerned here, but equally I quite like the fact he's taking a bit of time, because as I say, if he can win this frame, if there's time left on the clock, Dylan will have the right to reply because he's got the break in the neck. So he wants to win it with 30 seconds left on the clock, and then he's guaranteed a 6 red. But he is pushing the boundaries on that clock. This is now 6-7 minutes, this frame.
Tell you what, Nick, Dylan's got to be a bit careful here, because
ball in hand.
I think all of a sudden that last shot that Gillespie played, both those yellows might go at the top. If they do, that's unbelievable.
Even if they don't, he can screw back into the red and get it out. Yeah, just.
Oh, Scott, you didn't give that the due care it was deserved.
No, I don't think he did. I think he might. I reckon it goes though. It's just whether
he just sort of put his thumb up as if to say, not too sure.
Yeah, suddenly got hard again, hasn't it? Great pot.
Yeah, he just had to play a shot, didn't he?
The yellow I don't think passes the red now, does it? The one that's just on the left hand side of these. It may go to middle. I reckon that ball.
Right. If this yellow goes up the top,
I reckon it must go, because if it doesn't go, what's he got?
He's got to go for it now.
Yeah.
Hope he gets on the yellow, because Right, okay, so
Well,
this is it.
You have to assume as well then that the yellow to the left of that
No.
red also passes.
Yellow in the bottom right and split.
Oh no, he's going to split them. It's going bottom right. You're right. So he needs a good breakout as well. Oh, what a shot!
That's some poke.
What a great shot!
Some poke.
And still has work to do.
Yeah, we'll be playing for the double here. Bottom right off the side cush.
This would be.
He's actually played that too well. Now, let me tell you something here. 8 ball in the right centre. Where's the cue ball going? Sometimes tracks towards the same pocket.
He played it a great. That's some clearance.
120. 80 seconds left on the clock. Just needs a ball here. And wouldn't you know it, it's dry.
Wow. And absolutely plenty of time. I mean, Scott Gillespie not even rushing to the table. Plenty of time to make this clearance. Look at that shake of the head from Dylan. He knows. What a turn of events this is. From 5-2 down. I mean, okay, Scott, take your time, but goodness me, you've only got a minute, mate.
Scott's last ball to get on the 8 ball will be the yellow into the top right hand corner. Unless he plays a developing shot. He was looking at the developing shot there, and he still might be. When I say developing shot, I mean screw onto the red to develop the black. But I'm thinking this yellow he's playing now could be his last ball, top the cue ball through for the black into the bottom left hand corner.
Yeah,
that's what he could have done. But
he's in a hurry. It's hard to think straight when you're in this much of a rush.
Yeah, that's it. Surely the 8 ball doesn't go in the right hand centre pocket.
This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect.
He's actually got a perfect angle here to screw up onto the red and the black. No, what have you done, Scott Gillespie?
Never.
You breathe again, Mr. Leary.
Oh my goodness.
Save your breath because you're going to need it for a 6-red shootout. No, maybe not. Wow, where's he pulled that out from?
Have a poke. Oh, the gong's gone.
The gong's gone. I
thought he had a few seconds left for a little poke at it, and he didn't. Oh my goodness.
Table 2 at the Grand Hotel in Blackpool. You've never seen such drama. Okay, so here we go.
So a soft break and just a little screw just to... oh, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. And he's away.
Oh, that's not a good shot.
No, that's okay. That's okay. He's
fine.
Yeah. He's going to post a quick one here. There should be around about 21, I reckon. Maybe. Oh, Scott.
That's a miss.
Oh, Scott.
He's still on for a good time, you know.
That's incredible. He's managed 23 seconds having missed the ball. So
see if he gets a good break.
All about this break. Again. Oh, brilliant. And potted a ball.
Yeah, but he needs to pot a ball now. Come on, do. Oh, he's not happy with it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame.
Do you know, I think he could have still done that. They're there. I think the problem was he had to pot the red, the right of the two that are together, and he was going to push the other one up table, and he knew that was going to take another few seconds off the clock.